So we just finished WWE Elimination Chamber, and honestly, what a pay-per-view. We've had two amazing pay-per-views to start off the year. Royal Rumble was really fun, and this was just as fun. Not the best outcome in the final match. A lot of people wanted something a little bit better, but Roman Reigns is still the universal, undisputed universal WWE champion, however you want to say it. So let's jump into the matches tonight, discuss what happened, and then let's discuss possible WrestleMania matches. And then later in the week, I'm going to try and predict 10 matches from the WrestleMania card. So let's jump into it. So the first match on the card was the Women's Elimination Chamber match. And now for me, there was only two possible candidates to win this match. The rest of the women didn't really have any build up. Liv and Asuka were those two, and Liv started the match. She is the Iron Woman in WWE. She started the Royal Rumble from the second spot, I believe, and went all the way through, and she almost went all the way through in this match as well, but she did start at number one. Nikki Cross hit a crossbody from the top of a pod, which was really exciting. She was then the first to be eliminated, which was a little bit like annoying for Nikki Cross fans, but like I said, none of these other women really had much of a build up. There was a really awesome spot where there was a sunset flip that Liv did to Raquel, but Raquel actually kicked out of that, which was pretty surprising. There was a double submission on Liv, which was brutal. Natty and Asuka both put a submission on Liv. Liv ended up passing out, and she was the second eliminated, which is a little bit unfortunate because then, like, you could have had her and Asuka going back and forth at the end, going, "Oh, who's gonna win? Who's gonna lose?" But yeah, Liv got eliminated second. Natty then got eliminated, followed by Raquel, and then Carmella gets tapped out by Asuka. This was a kind of fun little match. There was plenty of spots to talk about. The outcome was very predictable, to be honest, and we could have just had some other match in the Elimination Chamber, and that could have been Asuka just getting a title shot. It's one of those matches that, you know, you knew who was going to win, but you liked the trip along the way. And honestly, it was just a fun match. I'd give it maybe a 3 out of 5 stars. I would probably not go back and rewatch it again, unlike the other Elimination Chamber match on the night. But I'm glad Asuka won. Her and Belair are gonna show, they're gonna steal the show, I reckon, at WrestleMania. They're gonna be put on a great match. The next match on the card was Bobby Lashley versus Brock Lesnar, and to be honest, I was not really a big fan of this match. Brock matches don't really do it for me anymore. He's fun to have around, don't get me wrong, and so is Lashley, but Lashley could put on better matches with other people. This match was, you know, it was interesting, but for me, it only gets like a 1 star. So Brock got a massive pop to start the match. Lashley got a pretty interesting entrance. He looks like championship material, and he probably will be towards the end of the year, but Bobby kicked out of 2 repeated F5s, which is pretty crazy. Lesnar got hit with 3 spears, and then the Hurt Lock was locked in, and Lesnar DQ'd. He kicked Lashley in the nuts, which got the DQ. Lesnar then snapped. He took out the ref. He F5 Lashley through the table, and then F5 the ref again. And the crowd were popping for Lesnar. They were honestly going off. It was the end of the match was probably better than their actual match, and their brawls on Monday Night Raw have been longer than the match actually went. So for me, I wasn't really a big fan. I'm very confused at what happens from now because Wyatt said he wants the winner, but this just leaves it open to whatever. We don't know the outcome of this. So is Wyatt going to go after both of them, or are they going to run it back at, you know, SummerSlam? Is Wyatt going to get one of them at Mania? Like, it's a bit of a weird situation. Or are we going to get Wyatt with Uncle Howdy taking out both of them? Like, it's very open-ended. I'm really hopeful this is the last match, but the way they ended it, there's definitely going to be one more. 4 matches between Brock and Lesnar. It's almost like they're just trying to do the Reigns versus Lesnar treatment, and they have nothing else for Lesnar, which is quite unfortunate because he works well with some of the smaller superstars. But hopefully Bobby moves on to bigger things, maybe the US title again, but I'm guessing we're going to have this match again. The third match of the night was the mixed tag team match between Judgment Day and Edge and Beth. Now, it was a pretty interesting match. Like, there was a few fun moments. There was a huge pop for Edge and Beth, which pops to me are always fun to listen to. There was a lot of fuck you Dom chants, which were quite funny. Beth still looks like she can go in the ring, so I'm expecting maybe the first challenger for Rhea after she beats Charlotte at WrestleMania could be Beth. That could be interesting to run back. but the match was a little bit sloppy. It was a bit all over the place. Dom caused Beth to fall on the ropes, and she kind of like smacked herself a little bit, which was obviously like a bump. It was a spot that happened, but it looked pretty brutal. Sorry. Dom ran away. The crowd popped when he left, and then they absolutely booed the house down when he came back out, which was quite fun. There was a huge superplex that Rhea hit on Beth, which was quite fun. There was a double submission spot, and then Dom dropped Brass Knuckles into the ring, and then there was a little bit of a botch pinfall. Edge kicked out after getting hit with Brass Knuckles, but it looked like Beth was meant to interfere and bump it. And then towards the end of the match, Beth threw Dom from the ground floor into the ropes, which cost Finn to slip and fall. And then there was a double powerbomb spot. The girls hit powerbombs on the guys. And then at the end, there was a spear followed by a shatter machine on Finn. And Edge and Beth got the win, which is really interesting in my books. Obviously, they're setting up a card that Beth can play later down the track to get herself a title shot. But Rhea has no momentum going into WrestleMania, so I really thought Judgment Day were going to take this one out. It was fun. It was an okay match. Let's just say that. It was good to see Edge in Canada. Like, the crowd was really into this match. I'll give it a 2.75 out of 5 stars. I think it could have been better if they cleaned it up a little bit. Like I said, it was a little bit sloppy, but it was a fine match. I'm hopeful that Rhea just, goes on a tear from here. She picks up a bunch of wins, maybe put her against Liv, maybe, or put her against someone, and just have her wreck house for a little while up until WrestleMania, because we're 6 weeks away, and she really needs to be pushed a little bit and gain a bit of momentum before her match against Charlotte. But Edge and Finn could potentially be a match we see at WrestleMania. Finn was yelling out stuff towards the end of the match when at the end of the match when Edge and Beth were celebrating. So I could see Finn Balor versus Edge. Maybe Edge puts Finn over and then Finn gets a push after WrestleMania, because I'm a massive Finn Balor fan. But yeah, overall, the third match of the night was pretty good. I'm not happy with who won, but you can't be happy with everything. The second last match, and probably the best match of the night, and I'm going to go as far to say top 3 Elimination Chambers in history. The US title looked damn prestigious in this match. These competitors were throwing themselves everywhere around that title. So Ford got a great reaction. I was very, very pleasantly surprised that he got a big pop. Gargano's theme, man, that theme used to be so good, and now they have this weird version. It's awful. They should do what they did with Sami Zayn and go back to the old theme. Like, Rebel Heart was so good by Paramore. I guess they're paying Paramore maybe a lot of money. I have no idea. So Gargano and Seth started off, which is a dream match in its own shoes there. It was pretty fun seeing them kind of interact. And then Theory came in third. Obviously, Theory has history with both these guys, so they kind of went back and forth a little bit. Theory is kind of pleading with both of them, being like, oh, let's take out the other. And then there was a fun little spot where they both of those competitors forced Theory into the pod and started beating him down. That was quite fun. And then Theory lifted up Bronson Reed and tried to hit his finisher on Reed, but then Reed got out. But Theory is a strong dude. I did not realize that to this match. Like I said earlier, Montez looked great in this match. He hit a Spider-Man spot from the top of the cage. He kind of dropped down onto everyone, which is really cool. So the first elimination was Reed, and he got eliminated after a Gargano DDT, followed by Seth Rollins hitting his stomp, followed by Ford hitting a splash, and that's how he got eliminated, which was pretty good. It was a pretty fun little spot. The spot of the night, though, Gargano was held up on top of one of the pods by Seth. Seth was about to powerbomb him off the top. Gargano then counters and kind of holds onto the side of the pod and flings Seth Rollins off the top onto the competitors, which was insane. That was an insane spot. I don't think I've ever seen that before, which was pretty cool. Priest then goes on to eliminate Gargano, so maybe we're going to get Gargano going after Priest, or maybe he gets into the Judgment Day feud somehow. I don't know. I'm just looking for little matches at WrestleMania. Montez then eliminates Priest, which is pretty cool. Then Ford got eliminated by Theory, and to end the match, Logan Paul returns after Ford was kind of getting looked at by the medical staff, which they left the door open. Logan runs in, hits an awesome, like, I think it's called like a flip clothesline. I don't know. It's kind of like Hangman Page's finisher, and then hits a stomp on Seth Rollins. Theory then capitalizes on Rollins being down, hits him with the A-Town down, and then retains the title. I didn't predict this. I did not expect Logan Paul to be back, but Seth's been talking a lot of crap about Logan, so obviously that's a match they want at WrestleMania. I honestly thought Theory was going to lose this title and challenge John Cena at WrestleMania, but who knows? Maybe Theory drops it from between now and Mania. That's 6 weeks, and then we get a WrestleMania ladder match. But honestly, this match, I'm going to give it a 4.6 out of 5. I think this match definitely was match of the night. I'm glad Theory did retain. I'm really digging Theory at the moment, and everyone in this match just deserves a massive pat on the back. It was great, super entertaining, a lot of big spots, but a lot of good wrestling as well. Well, we've come to the main event, and honestly, during this match, I did not know where this match was going. So Roman came out first, which was very surprising, obviously to kind of get the crowd into booing before they cheered the hell out of Sami. So there was no bloodline coming out with Roman. There was like, I think it was like 4 or 5 minutes where they kind of just stood there either side of the ring, and the crowd were just going absolutely nuts. The first big action of the match was the big sunset flip that Sami hit on Roman, and there was like a 2.75 count. There was a lot of like wrestling and back and forth before this, but this was the most memorable part. Then Sami hit a Superman punch into a haluva kick, and Reigns kicked out at 2.95. Like, it was intense. I thought it was done, but it was very early in the match. Roman then tried to hit a spear and missed, and they went through the barricade. Sami then threw Roman back into the ring, hit a blue thunder bomb, and Roman kicks out. And then the next thing that happens is there's a big ref bump. The ref gets caught in between the turnbuckle, and Sami and Roman hits a couple corner clotheslines and elbows. And then Sami then counters and hits a massive haluva kick. And then there's no ref to count it. And there was a 10 count. Everyone was booing. Everyone was going crazy. Everyone was waiting for a ref to come out. But Jimmy Uso comes out. So Jimmy then hits a 3 or 4 super kicks on Sami, followed by a splash. They wait a little bit, and the new official comes into the ring. He counts a 2.95 again, and Sami kicks out. And then Sami goes on to kick out of a huge spear that Roman hits. And honestly, the crowd were going nuts. This is when I started feeling like Sami was going to win. Sami just kicked out of a splash and a spear after taking all this abuse earlier in the match. And then Jey Uso arrives. So the ref goes down just after Sami kicks out of the spear. He gets hit with a Superman punch, and Jey Uso slides into the ring. Roman has the steel chair after Paul Heyman pushed it into the ring, and Roman turns and sees Jey. They start talking. Roman then tries to give Jey Uso the chair, which is literally what happened at Royal Rumble. I thought they were going to run it back and Jey was going to hit Roman with the chair. Roman then takes the chair back away from Jey, and Sami hits a spear on Jey after Roman jumped out of the way. And that was so sad. Poor Jey. And then Roman uses the chair, smashes Sami repeatedly, hits a spear, and then gets the 1, 2, 3. So storyline wise, this match, honestly, it's peaked. I don't know where we go from here. There still seems like there's going to be a little bit of unfinished business between the Bloodline and Sami Zayn, but then Jimmy gets back in the ring when Jay's down, and Jimmy starts beating down Sami Zayn with Roman, and then KO returns. KO comes out, takes out the Bloodline. There's a fun little spot where KO is standing in the middle of the ring. Roman's up against the ropes, and Sami's behind KO. KO moves out of the way. Sami hits a big haluva kick. And then KO and Sami kind of like stare at each other. And then KO gets out of the ring and starts walking away. So they're like acknowledging each other. Sami stands tall to end the pay-per-view in Canada, but he doesn't have the titles, which is a massive shame. Poor Sami. But this match, I'm going to give it like I'll give it a 4.2 just because the story has me very invested. The action was a little bit slow, but Sami kept sparking it with some of his action. He hit a really fun springboard, like he like hit the ropes and springboarded back over Roman, and then like hit a big clothesline, which was really exciting. But yeah, this match was pretty good. It was really entertaining. It was a good way to finish. Obviously, Roman's taking the titles into WrestleMania, but overall, the pay-per-view was a solid one. Overall, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Royal Rumble for me gets maybe a 3.85, but 2 awesome pay-per-views to start the year. So let me know down below what you thought of Elimination Chamber. I honestly had a lot of fun watching it. It's the first time since Royal Rumble I've watched a pay-per-view all the way through. Before Royal Rumble, I normally would skim it and just watch a couple matches, but WWE has been on fire lately, and I'm honestly really excited for WrestleMania. Like I said at the start of the video, I'm going to try and predict 10 matches that are going to be on the Mania card later in the week. We have a few confirmed, so maybe a couple of them will be in the video, but the main event, Roman versus Cody, will not be. But I'm really looking forward to WrestleMania. This has been one of the best build-ups in a long time, and I'm excited for quite a few of the matches that are rumored, but like I said, let me know down below what you thought of the pay-per-view and what you think is coming next for some of these superstars. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.